guys, Tucker Antell here with another Tucker's tutorial video. Today's Wednesday workout is going to feature diatonic seventh chords. This is something that I loved to practice every single day, and I still run through all the time because it's so useful, and you find that it comes up a lot in reading music and also something that's great for theory knowledge as well. So what am I talking about when I talk about diatonic seventh chords? Well, the diatonic part means that we're staying within a particular key or scale, so that's what that part means. And seventh chords just means that we have a four-note chord. So let's start in C major and build from there with 1, 3, 5, 7 of the major scale. That would be C, E, G, B. And then from there we just move up the scale, building a chord just like that on every single note of the major scale. So the next one would be D, F, A, C, and then E, G, B, D. It's almost like you placed your hand on the keyboard and on those four notes, and then each finger went up the major scale at the same time. So it sounds like this when you arpeggiate it with an instrument like a saxophone. The really cool thing about this, and why I mentioned that it's good for theory knowledge, is as you build these seventh chords and you're staying within the major scale, or the key signature of C major in this case, the quality of the chords, or whether they're major or minor, changes as you go up, and it will always stay in the same order no matter what key you're playing in. The first chord, or the one chord, is always going to be a major seven chord. The 2 and the 3 are always going to be minor seventh chords. The 4 is going to be another major seventh chord, and the 5, which is why we call it the 5 chord, is going to be a dominant chord. The 6 is going to be another minor seventh chord, and the 7 is going to be a half diminished chord, or what people call a minor flat 5 chord, before we get back to the top. So there's a bunch of different qualities of chords as you go up, and it's really great to get acquainted with these in every key. And as you practice this, your fingers will get used to running up and down all these different kinds of chords and what key they should be in, or what key they belong to. Also, while you're practicing this, I find it extremely useful to visualize what chord you're playing while you're playing it, so that you can kind of get that association built up while you're practicing it. So while I'm going up a C major chord, I'm thinking to myself, this is a C major 7 chord, C, E, G, B, and then when I get to the D minor chord, I'm not just going to run my fingers up D, F, A, C and back down, but I'm going to think to myself, this is a D minor 7 chord. The next time I see a D minor 7 on the page, it's going to feel like this on my fingers. And then you get that association. So there are a few different ways to practice this. The first is the way I just played it, which is just every single chord goes up, and while you're going up the scale. Another way you can do it is to play down the arpeggio while you're going up the scale too. And so forth. When you're heading down, you can do the same thing. My favorite of all time, and this one is a little smoother to play and it sounds really cool, is to mix and match, which is to go up 1/7 chord, and then the next note is a descending arpeggio, and the next ascending and descending and ascending, and it kind of makes like a loop like that. It sounds like this. So this is extremely useful, and you hear great jazz soloists using this kind of shape and using this kind of technique in their solos as it outlines chords, and it's just a really, really great fundamental thing to know and be able to play. Of course, use the metronome, and of course play this in as many keys as you can, hopefully all 12, and you will feel your technique and awareness of keys growing as you do. So I hope that you guys all learn something from that. If you want to find the sheet music for this, I didn't mention that you can find a printout on my website at tuckerantell.com. The link is below in the description. Subscribe and comment below, and we'll see you guys next time for another Friday Finish Line.